And let me just introduce to you the bigger boy, bigger girl. It's a long time we had Sisi, the pretty Sisi, on the show. Tonight is a special night. Sisi is back with us. Sisi, looking so different. I know guys see you in the morning, but this is the first time you are coming on Sports Tonight this year.
Okay, yes, actually.
So we can wish you Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And Dumnadio Konta is also there as well. Sisi, what's going on?
Super Falcons, so many things happening.
Yeah, for a long time, we've talked, about the eaglets, the flying eagles, everything.
Yeah.
But the girls, you guys have been quiet. What's happening?
Yeah, because really nothing much is happening. Because you just said you guys have been talking about the Super Eagles, the under-17, under-20 and all that. And meanwhile, we have the biggest tournament this year for women, and it's taking place in June. So we are still waiting when finally we'll know when the girls will resume camp. But reports reaching us is that they're likely to resume camp February, because they need to be in camp a month before the All-African Games, AAG, All-African Games qualifiers before it starts, which is going to be in March. Of course, they still have another one in May, and they have another one in April. So maybe they just want to resume camp a month, and then they will stay in camp until the World Cup starts. And another one is there's a tournament they were supposed to participate in. Okay,
let's talk about that. The girls, we were told that they're supposed to go for a tournament in Cyprus.
Yeah, Cyprus. Just
12-nation tournament. What's the story around? Because you have come up now to say it's not looking like that will happen again.
Yeah, because when I spoke with the media officer, she was saying that it's not going to be, simply because at the time the tournament is scheduled to hold between 2nd and 12th of March. After that, the Super Falcons are supposed to be playing Mali for the All-African Games qualifier on the 20th and 22nd. By the time they go for that tournament, once they return, it may clash with
the qualifiers
because of the time for them to prepare and all that. So they're thinking, because Cyprus is very far, and they're thinking by the time they go for that tournament and when they come back, they might not really have that time to prepare for the qualifiers, because the qualifiers is actually more important to the Cyprus Cup. Because it's a 12-nation tournament. You're going to be having about 8 countries that are participating at the World Cup there. So that would have been, yes, a good test for them. I think maybe they're actually looking at the fact that you're not going to be having African countries there, because you're going to be having Australia, England, Finland, the Netherlands, Scotland, Canada,
was that not what we said we should do? Was that not what we said we should do?
Something like that.
We said we should not play African teams, we should play World Cup teams. Can't we divide the team like Sasa is doing?
Because this All-African Games is coming up. Maybe that's what they're looking at. But I think if the tournament is going to finish on the 12th, they still have time, to come back and prepare and, of course, get ready for the game against Mali. For that, I believe World Cup is the most important thing. So I think all focus should be here, because Canada, the host nation, actually participated in a foreign nation tourney. They won. It was in China. You had China, Korea Republic, and of course Mexico participated in that, and Canada won it at the end of the tournament. So I think for countries like that, then they know that they actually know what they're going for in this tournament. They're already playing qualifiers and tournaments like this. I think if the Super Falcons, they got a chance to actually do this one, I just hope and pray they can actually go, because we don't know if they're going to go. We don't know if they're going or not. We're just hoping and praying that they're able to just put things together and see how they can participate in that tournament, because it's definitely going to help. Because when you're having countries like Belgium, Czech Republic, New Zealand, Mexico, yes, Canada, Australia, England, all of them participating, it would have been a very, very good test. And the players that would have been there would have just been the one they can put together and for them to just go for the World Cup.
Okay, let's talk about some other issues around the World Cup as well. A lot of the top players have been complaining about the kind of pitch that will be used for the FIFA Women's World Cup. Artificial pitches will be used and all of that, and they've been complaining about it. They even threatened to go to court and all of that. How far? What's the story? It looks like
they've actually abandoned the legal action.
They have abandoned the legal action
because they feel the sport is more important. That's what they learn looking at that. And of course, the attorney actually come up to say that with that kind of noise, or so to speak, that they made, right now you'll be having the goal line technology will be used for the first time in the Women's World Cup. And another thing is the pitch for the final. They actually complained about the pitch, that it was already bad, so the pitch had been replaced. So that actually answered some of their questions. And Amy Wambach actually come up to say that with that kind of legal action, they were threatening against FIFA and also the Canadian Soccer Association. Right now, they now have a voice. No, people actually supported them, because they were saying that, look, if the men will play on natural grass,
Yeah, why would the women play
the
differently?
women also need to play on natural grass. But if you go to Canada, because of the weather, you know, if you go to Vancouver, Edmonton and all that, they don't really have Montreal, they don't really have the kind of weather for them to have a better grass, according to what they say.
Grass
so they
pitches,
have
so they're
all the
artificial.
pitches actually is artificial because it's easier for them to maintain. They can train there, and also matches can
And then
be
the weather
played
is also
there.
and
The
it's very
weather
cold as
also
well.
it's very cold. So that's the kind of pitch they have. And FIFA has come up to say that look, they don't really have time to now move the World Cup to another venue because
then get
it's
grass
June.
pitches.
That is it. So maybe the next World Cup 2019, I think that one definitely be on grass. So just that's being able to come up with something like that and taking a legal action against them, although they abandoned at the end of the day, but I think it's something that actually gave a voice to the women because so many people actually came up to actually support them. And just yesterday, you know, the man who's actually contesting for who wants to contest for FIFA presidency, talked about David Ginola, said he wants a situation whereby the Women's World Cup and the Men's World Cup can be held simultaneously. That is at the same time.
The Women's World Cup is every 4 years?
Yes.
Every
Of
4
course,
years?
every 4 years.
Okay,
So
okay.
you can have as the men, it's ongoing.
As we are having our Federation Cup
Just
in
like
Nigeria.
yes.
So we should do the World Cup like
the
that.
same thing. That's
the women should play their own World Cup and then the men will play their own.
The same time, just like
it's an idea.
So,
what do you think about
I think
it?
that's a good one.
What do you think about it?
It's an idea.
It's an idea, and we could try it and see. but then it's going to be very,
If that's his own
it's
idea.
going to be very
why I don't
cumbersome.
think-
It's very cumbersome on FIFA.
Because we are still battling on whether we're going to play a Winter World Cup or a Summer World Cup.
No, I'm talking about that idea itself.
But
I
we
mean,
have to deal with the Winter World Cup issue first before we come up with that because
let me rephrase. For example, 2014 World Cup in Brazil, would it have been ideal or fun for the girls to have played the World Cup maybe a month before, and then the
No.
guys will play their own World Cup after?
No, not a month before. As it's ongoing. Like you
No,
have.
we can't play
like
ongoing
you
now.
know, like Olympics. That's what they do. Olympics. You know, you have male and female. That's how.
Well,
it's
the
done
women
in
will
Olympics.
steal the show now. Nobody will go and watch the guys.
They will. It won't be done the same day. Maybe Brazil and
During the
Germany,
break.
we have to play
Anyway.
on Monday. Then on Tuesday, you have the women also playing
know
on
what-
Tuesday. Just
I know
like
what
that.
Blatter would
So
say.
by the time it's like they have people actually coming in to watch the sponsorship and everything, will be coming in because
That's
they're
an
complaining
idea.
about money. That's the reason, you know.
And
you
then the
don't
women
really
can
hype
ride on the crest of the publicity
that
for the men,
is it for the men.
and also
yes,
have their
at the
World
same
Cup
time.
popular.
So that the
All right.
focus will just be on both
football.
tournaments and not the men. Of the hype was really huge and big last year, but
then
this
this
year,
year, nobody's
January,
talking about
nobody's
it.
talking about it.
That's an idea. You can talk to us about it as well. What do you think about it? The men and the women having the World Cup about the same time, so that the focus on both will help the women's game to grow. Talk to us about it. We'd like to read your comments on that issue as well as we go on Sports Tonight. Before I come to you, World Cup trophy going around the world.
Yes.
It's not coming to Africa, is it?
No.
Okay.
And another thing is, it was in Brazil yesterday, and of course today in Sao Paulo. But the girls were not really allowed to touch it because it's only the champions that can actually touch it. But they actually said that has given them that edge, you know, that
The Brazilians.
opportunity.
Who are the
Yes,
champions?
that
Who are the
hunger.
defending champions?
Germany. So that one has actually given them the opportunity for them to actually see how they can, you know, how they can win it. So that hunger is already there for them. And also is kind of leave your goals tour. That's what they scored. And it's already been in Spain, China, USA, and Germany. And the next is going to be, next month, is going to be in France. So that's just it.
But the fact of the case is that it's not coming to Africa.
Yeah,
And if it's not coming to Africa, it means it's not coming to Nigeria.
it definitely.
Okay, all right. Maybe the girls will have to go there to Canada and win it and drag it down to Nigeria, drag it down to Africa. It's not mission impossible. Anything can happen. Dumnodi, let's come quickly. Let's come to your side very quickly. Dream Team, getting ready for 2 friendlies.
3.
Getting ready for Tunisia, getting ready for Super 6. Team has been divided into 2.
Yes.
Sia leads the team to Tunisia. Fatai Amal leads the team to the Super 6. What do you make of the idea?
Siasa will lead the gang of 21 to Tunisia, while Amao will lead the
gang
gang
of
of
23.
36.
36.
36.
To the Super 6.
32.
32 to the Super 6.
To Super 6. And,
What do you feel about that idea? A lot of people have said different things about it, that it's trying to make the best of 2 worlds. Do you agree?
I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying you because when you want to go with the entire squad, it doesn't make sense. You take 21 there, but the truth of the matter is, those playing here is even an opportunity for them to play to get clubs, to get better.
Don't they have clubs already?
Yes. If you,
You're a dream team
you have
player.
better
You're a dream
club.
team player. You don't have a
But
club.
I know the sentiment is, why are you taking 21 players to Tunisia? I did it your first choice players. But of course, if you look at the lists, you will suggest that. If you look at the list of 21 players going for the Tunisia two-legged friendly. You suggest that. No, and I've even looking at that list alone. If you look at the other ones, the gang of 32 in Nigeria are going to be playing the Super Six. Just few names will just make a lot of sense to you, like Chris Madaki, who plays for GYFC. So, but the truth of the matter is, I think for CSI, it's safe to say, no first team, no second team, but play your best. But for the ones here, it's an opportunity to even prove to Patai Ramo. Maybe the ones here, they could not, they won't meet up with the standard. But as I said, it's their performance during their training session that he used that particular to pick this player that will go for the pending games in Tunisia. But I want to state it. The 21 players going to Tunisia and the one in Nigeria are not different. But it's an opportunity for those ones to prove that we can play.
There's something to play for.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the Super Six. Now, yesterday, you promised us that
the Super Six,
we'll begin our countdown.
I'm going to limit it to 2 players.
2 players today?
2 players today.
Okay.
One from
players to watch?
Yeah, one from Kano Pillars and the other one from Eyimba. Let me just take the 2 players. The first players I'm going to talk about is Adamu Hassan from Kano Pillars. He's Kano Pillars top scorer last season.
Adamu Hassan?
Adamu Hassan,
okay,
yes.
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
The midfielder?
Yes, the midfielder. He's Kano Pillars top scorer last season. Got 14 goals. He scored a base 3 times. And he's going to be the player to watch. This was a player, during this last Super 4, it seems uneraded. But suddenly when the league started, he shook the league by storm. The focus was on Gambo Mohamed to score the goal.
Ali.
Ezekiel Mba to score the goals. Of course, Rabi Ali, those were the guys that everybody has tipped to do well for Kano Pillars, but this guy came from nowhere. Some of the goals he scored were the goals that led Kano Pillars to winning the title.
What about the player? Who are you talking? Who is the player to watch from Eyimba?
But you know the usual players. Now, if he has not gone elsewhere, it's Mfodo.
Oh, Mfodo. We already know him.
We already know, but okay, let me just add one to it. I want to add Ezekiel Bassi from Akwa United.
Okay,
a player with a lot of power. A lot of power. I hope this is an opportunity for Ezekiel Bassi to prove himself that yes, I played for Akwa United last season. I did well. But this is Eyimba, a big club. I can make it happen at the Eyimba. But it's one player to watch.
Make it happen in the CAF Champions League.
Yeah, the CAF Champions League and for Eyimba this season. So we have to watch out for Ezekiel Bassi.
Okay. Club focus today.
The club focus is on Wiki Tourists.
Wiki Tourists of Bauchi.
They've started training since last week. Their new coach is in charge of the team. That's Abdullah Makaiba. Yes, he's in charge of the team. They retained 15 players. They asked 23 players to leave the club. Those are players who they seem to be redundant. Some were as a result of indiscipline.
Help them to gain promotion.
No, some of them, but you know this club.
But maybe not up to the standard of the Globe Premier League.
Yes, and they're looking at getting players from within clubs around the Globe Premier League and National League. They're conducting an open screening.
Okay.
But they're going to be focusing on getting players also to reduce their cost from teams around Bauchi. That's Zabgai and Wunti. These are clubs that have been...
So those clubs are going to serve like feeder teams?
Yeah, feeder team, but they're getting 6 players, three each for these 2 clubs to add up to the players. The 10 players they will get from the... That's 13 plus 15. They will get 28 players to prosecute the league this season. And they are planning on going on tour around Kano, Kaduna, and they come down to the west so that they will be used to traveling down from the north to the west to play league games. And they are playing a total number of 15 games to prepare for the new season, and that's a good one. And they're looking at playing tournament. Maybe if they can get to the east, if their budget can allow them to get to the east, or time will allow them to get to the east. But the 15 games are going to be scattered around, playing in Kaduna and Kano, playing in the west and playing in the east.
All right, thank you so much for this update. Tomorrow we'll continue our build-up to the Super 6.
Yes.
More players to Bayelsa United. Is this club under focus tomorrow? Yes. They have a coach?
Well, they have this.
They've lost Peter Mobowe, so they have good transfer money. So they should be able to buy players. All right, tomorrow we'll talk about Bayelsa.
2 of their players are going to the 21. 2 of their top players
are going
with the 21 team precisely to Tunisia.
All right, so tomorrow we'll be talking about Bayelsa United and we'll continue our build up to the Globe Super 6. Sisi, thank you for your time. When are we seeing you again?
Hopefully next week Wednesday. Next
week Wednesday? That's a promise? Okay, so we look forward to seeing you again. Let me go to Twitter very quickly before we announce a change, and then Onye Onwachuku and Tureko Eke will be joining me. Youth Excellency at Don_Abule, that's interesting, says, nice show. I'm receiving you guys live in London. Thank you so much. Matthew Enude at Enude C. Dope says, good evening, nice job. Can you confirm the name and the club of the light-skinned guy that played for Nigeria against Cote d'Ivoire? That must be Steve Uko, who plays his football in Switzerland. Yeah. All right, so That's what he wants to find out. Joe Ejiofor says the Lagos State government deserves commendation for organizing the Bile Games. There's no better way of discovering talents than this. Initially, the Bile Games were about local governments in Lagos, but they discovered that it wasn't as effective as they wanted it, and they turned it around and made it all secondary school sports festival in Lagos. And that's what you'll be seeing. You'll be seeing little kids in schools like Bukola Awotoye and, of course, Ruth Usoro that you saw earlier on the show. Joy Forever 74 says, economically, it will not be viable playing the women and the men's FIFA World Cup together. It says there will be loss of revenue for FIFA and the football associations. And at Silent Achiever _ says, I support the idea of